Okay, so when you download the zip file for the Yahtzee project that I give you, the only class that you need to edit code in is the player class. Everything else is created for you. In the other videos, I walked through that code. There are just a few functions in here that you need to complete. You need to complete the get upper total method. I've got comments here that describe exactly what you need to do in that. You need to implement the get lower total method, and there are comments here that explain exactly what you need to do in that. This return 0, this is only here right now because the method has to return an int. If I don't have that line of code, Java complains because I don't have a return, because a return statement that's returning some sort of int. But returning 0 isn't what we want to do, but it's just there as a placeholder until you can calculate the upper total and then return, instead of returning 0, return the appropriate calculated total. So once you return the calculated total, this return 0 will be unnecessary. At the moment, it just returns 0 no matter what the upper total is. And get lower total is essentially the same thing. You'll need to implement the total all dice, and there's code here that explains how to do that. This one will also end up returning 0 at the moment because it starts a variable out at 0 and then it just returns that variable. But there are comments here that should make it pretty clear to you what you need to do. If those comments are not enough information, then you need to send me a message in Canvas and ask some questions. You need to implement place in 4 of a kind. And again, I've added comments that are really very detailed and explicit of exactly what needs to be done. At the moment, because it does not end the turn, this method will, well, I'll show you. Well, if you click in place of a 4 of a kind, so right now it's expecting you to click a score location. If I click, it doesn't do anything because this method is not implemented. It doesn't end the turn, it's just ignoring the click. This method is getting called, it just doesn't do anything when it's called. And so the game can be played, but because it doesn't calculate an upper total, it just returns 0 no matter how many points are scored up here. It's just going to place the 0 that method returns. And the same here for the lower total. And this is just a copy of that. And since the upper total is never more than 63, it never gets the bonus. And then since the upper total and the lower total are always 0, regardless of how many points are up in top or bottom, the grand total always shows up as 0. Because 4 of a kind is not implemented, clicking in that category does nothing. Large straight is also not implemented, so clicking in that category does nothing. Place in chance is also not implemented. So those are the only methods that you need to implement. Place in chance, place in large straight, place in 4 of a kind, total all dice. Get lower total and get upper total. Did I say 4? I think that's 5. Lower total, upper total, total all dice, place in 4 of a kind, place in large straight, and chance. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 methods for you to write. There are very explicit comments for each one, so I don't think you should have too much trouble. This should not be a difficult assignment. Once you have implemented those 6 methods, the game should play, and then you can test it out, make sure everything works correctly, upload your zip file, and you'll be good to go. Zip the project up and upload the zip file.